I would also love to talk about Redux Riding Hood. That piece is great. I was surprised that it was Disney. It seems like I don't know if it was just the times or because they would, I guess, push different envelopes on Disney Toons and Disney XD. It seems like you got away with a certain sense of humor that I don't really see much from them. How did that come about?
Better to see you with. Better to hear you with.
What's wrong?
I had that dream again.
Again?
Well, I got involved with it because I had just come off Goofy Movie. They were so happy with how that came out that they were looking to keep me occupied with the things. And then after that, I'd done a couple short things with the Timon and Pumbaa show.
Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me?
Yes.
And then, but then after that, I had a meeting with Sharon Morrill, who was the development executive at the time. And she said, we have this thing they want to do. They were basically a Fractured Fairy Tale knockoff. This was before I did the Fractured Fairy Tale thing. But what the idea was, they were making all these direct-to-video sequels, and Dean Valentine, who was the president of the division at the time.
And Disney at that point was an absolute non-factor in television. It was revived and being renewed by Eisner and Katzenberg in features and in the theme parks and many, many other areas. But in television, it had been absolutely no impact. There were no Disney shows on air. There was nothing. They offered me a job, and I said, well, what is it? If you guys don't have any shows on air, there's like nothing. And I said, you don't have deals with any writers, but no, we really want to, we want to succeed, and we need somebody, and I guess nobody was that enthusiastic about working there, and I kind of was, and I took the job. And I didn't have much choice, to be honest with you, because I couldn't. There was like the best. It was the best of whatever was out there, and I really wanted to leave NBC, and I went.
And he's looking at this going, how long does it take to make these videos? Because they were a cash cow back in the 90s. And they were saying, well, it takes them like 2 years to beginning of 3 years, whatever it was. And he said, how do we speed that up? And they came up with, well, we do shorter things with parallel productions going on, package them together, put them out almost like a TV series. And so they had this idea they were going to call them Twisted Tales. And they hired these different writers who were from mostly TV backgrounds, real funny guys. And I got to work with Dan O'Shannon. He wrote this script about this wolf from Red Riding Hood, who it's like years later, and he can't get over the fact that he failed at getting red and grandmom and all that. Anyway, so he's driving his wife crazy.
Red.
What? I can't take it anymore. I can't live like this. You're acting crazy. Why didn't I marry Leonard Fox?
Leonard Fox? Leonard Fox from high school?
Yes. When we were seniors, Leonard asked me to marry him.
Marry me. I'll make you the happiest woman on earth.
But I had to say no because I was in love with you, big man on campus.
And he ends up building a time machine and going back in time to meet himself, and we're going to fix it. We're going to get it right this time. And then that goes wrong, and then he goes back. Now there's 3 of them, and then there's 4 of them, and 5 of them, until there's like the whole house is filled with these guys. Anyway, in the meeting, Sharon tells me a story. I thought it was funny, and they were talking about, we want to make these like director's pieces. Like you get to make them whatever style you want, because there's going to be 4 of them on a package. We want all 4 of them to have a different look to them, and this will be what makes it fresh. I was very excited to do it because that just never happens, and hasn't happened since. I went back to my office. I was, reading the script and thinking about it, and for an art director, I got thinking, you know what? At that time, I was so sick of seeing everybody doing Mary Blair knockoffs in the same. It was either Mary Blair or Ivan Earl and all that color palette, that look, where it's Mary Blair-ish, but it's not nearly as good. And I was talking to Dan Rounds, who was one of the producers on Goofy Movie, and I was telling him this. I want to get somebody who doesn't know all that stuff, hasn't been tainted or influenced by it. And he goes, well, I got this fishing buddy, lives out in New Mexico, and he's really good. He's a graphic designer. His name's John Kleber, and you should check him out. So at that time, it wasn't like we had websites and all that. So he sent me his book, and it had all this different artwork in it, and it had a lot of photo collage elements and just an unusual palette to it. It wasn't cartoony, and I loved it. I was like, yes, I want to use this guy. And so I went to must have gone to Sharon or Tom Rosica, who was the vice president on another part over there. And I said, I want to use this guy. And I said, well, let's, he hasn't worked in animation. I said, I want to have him do some pieces for me and see what he comes up with. So we talked on the phone, and we talked about, well, the thing was being produced in New Zealand. I didn't know how good they were. I mean, I'd seen some of their stuff and it seemed good, but I didn't know what the painters could handle. So I said, well, don't make it so complicated that they can't bang this stuff out, because it's going to be fast. It's going to be like 5 months to turn this thing around. So we were talking flat, no perspective, even intentionally wonky perspective. And then I wanted those photo collage elements, and he just laughed. John did. He goes, you know what that stuff's from? He said, I got this like 1939 Montgomery Ward catalog, and it's got all these photos in it, and I would just like cut them out and put them on. So he had that whole catalog Xeroxed for me, so we could go to New Zealand with this Xerox copy of that catalog. And that's where we used that's the stuff we used. And I remember Tom at the time saying, some of that stuff's got like we use spark plugs, and they said AC Delco on them, or stuff like this. And he goes, you got to cover that stuff up, right? And I was like, yeah, we will, Tom. We never did. We didn't have time for that. Anyway, but I got to do that, and I showed him that stuff. Meanwhile, I was doing character designs, and I got playing around with, we have this wolf, and he has this long-suffering wife, and I just decided on a whim to make her a sheep. It's like she's
funny.
And then, but that's the kind of stuff, I like to just throw in there, and I got to do it. And then the casting, I had Jamie Thomason was the voice casting guy, and we got talking about, you throw your wish list out, and you go, well, we'll see. And everybody accepted. I didn't have anybody turn me down. And, I was watching a show and Garrison Keillor was on there, and that's my narrator. That guy's my narrator right there. And we got Garrison Keillor. We got, I knew the wolf. I wanted Michael Richards because Seinfeld was on at the time. And I went, that's the guy. He's got that kind of hyper energy to it.
Now listen to me, you little quack. There was a half man, half pig in that room over there. Now where is he? Where is he? Wow! Yeah!
What the?
I don't have time to explain. You want to catch Little Red Riding Hood? All right, let's go.
And the rest of the stuff was kind of like wish list. What if Mia Farrow, because she's got this real plaintive voice.
What are you talking about?
It's like, well, Mia Farrow's not going to do this. She did it. She was in New York, and she read. And when she's doing this, she was so good. And then at some point she's eating a salad while she's talking on the short. The sheep is. Yeah. But the rest of the guys are eating. Well, what's the sheep got? Oh, she's eating a salad, right? It shows she's. So Mia goes, I got some lettuce. I got a sandwich here. It's got some lettuce in it. Should I eat that? And I said, yeah, whip that out. And she was in New York. We're just hearing her voice in the booth, and so she's got this strong. She's just like, Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc?
Well, you might as well live with it. There's nothing you can do about it now.
She's chomping away on this lettuce and going, why don't you guys just let it go? And it was perfect. We got Fabio. Do you know who Fabio is?
No.
Beauty has a face, perfection a name.
He was, back in the day, he was the model for a bunch of these romantic novels where they would put these illustrations on it, and it became known that he was the guy. He was this big, beefy guy, and he had long, flowing blonde hair. Anyway, he was doing butter commercials at the time.
A
I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. The taste you love without the cholesterol.
What a work of art.
Well, he had this voice where
I'll save you. Don't run, Mr. Bunny Rabbit.
Yeah, the baby.
and I was like, I got to get that guy to be the woodsman because he's wooden. See, you got Don Rickles.
Are you an Irishman? You an Irish kid? What are you, a bird? Hey, look! I'm Picasso!
I don't get it.
You uncultured swine! I said get back to work! You're pitiful! Now stop your pathetic daydreaming and get back to work!
And June Foray, she was the one I geeked out over the most because I finally got to work with June freaking Foray.
I'm surprised to see you again, my pretties.
Oh, dear.
Why are you taking our Christmas tree?
Be some other way to surprise those Smurfs. The Simpsons. Lady, you've got to be kidding.
The ugliest little thing. What a man!
Coming.
Gruffy Gummy, you have the manners of a billy goat. Oh, get him firewood.
This little old lady comes in and she goes back in the booth and I asked, and again, this was my grandma's second appearance in a film. Grandma in Redux Riding Hood is my grandma. And one of the times they go back after her when they try to do it again, in this alternate universe, they put her in the closet. She comes out and she's got one of those German helmets from World War I, the Pickelhaben with the spike in it. And she's got an old machine gun and she's got the German accent. Good move, Mr. Smarty Pants. Locking me in the ammo closet.
Good move, Mr. Smarty Wolf. Locking me in the ammo closet.
And blast them. And June's back there doing that. And between takes, she's slipping into Rocky the Squirrel and Natasha, and
Nice.
like you're giving notes and she's replying as one of these characters. I'm just dying. Like, oh my God.
Hokey Smoke, haven't I seen you before? No, darling.
Oh, that's great.
It was just such a
You're
joy.
legend. Yeah.
A joy, yeah. So, and then we went to New Zealand. Me, and I met the crew down there, and some of them were very green, but then I had a few wonderful animators. Lily Dell is a fantastic animator, and we worked on this thing for like 6 months, and I got to live in Auckland and then a few weeks in Wellington, and it was a wonderful experience being down there. It was just a beautiful place, and